Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, the camping season has started, or really did it ever end? Anyways, it's a little bit chilly as you can tell. This behind me is supposed to be a beautiful lake. Mrs. Sujano and I booked a nice waterfront campsite and well, this is this is waterfront. Anyways, we've got a lot of news to talk about. Now for lucky today, we might see some fluffs, maybe a moose, maybe a bear, maybe something else, who knows here, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up. But first up on the docket, we're talking about Pokemon. And interestingly, we talked about Pokemon just the other day when Nintendo went after a VTuber for using an allegedly modified version of Pokemon Emerald. And this one is kind of following along the similar lines here, but Nintendo has not gone after them. So we're talking about Google Gemini and Pokemon Blue. So there's an interesting article over on Dexerto, and if you're interested in learning more about it, like everything we talk about, links are in the description below right at the bottom. I don't hide my sources. Anyways, the article is titled, Google Gemini AI is being trained by playing Pokemon and it's succeeding. So this is occurring over on Twitch, and it says with the release of Gemini Pro 2.5 Experimental, there's been an interest in testing how well it plays Pokemon. This stream showcases an early prototype of the model navigating the game. Expect occasional offline periods and potential full resets as the experiment progresses. A better stream UI is also in the works. It appears that Google is well aware of this and supporting and promoting it as they've shared links to the Twitch stream from their official feeds. I'm very curious to see what happens moving forward on this one. I mean, let me know your thoughts about it in the comments below. I'm curious to see if Nintendo goes after them for modifying the ROM. Well, they're not really modifying the ROM. A graphics mod isn't really. Anyways, I'm curious to see if Nintendo goes after them like they went after the VTuber. And speaking about AI, next up we're talking about YouTube and AI music and something that is probably going to be pretty darn disruptive. So it's being reported that YouTube is rolling out a brand new tool to generate or have AI generate background music for videos for free. I'm curious to see where this goes, but I think this could have huge impacts not only for artists, but for companies like Epidemic Sound. For those who may not be aware, I used to use Epidemic Sound to license music for my videos, for example, for the intro sounds as well as for the outro music. And I stopped doing that because it was very costly. Instead, I just had my own music created. I didn't use AI for that, and I will say I'm very happy with the results here, but at the same time, with people being able to do this for free now and generate music for free, I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of cancellations to stuff like Epidemic Sounds, which means a lot of artists are no longer going to get paid. But I don't know here. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. I don't want to start a conspiracy theory or go down any rabbit holes on this. It just seems that this is the start, or has been the start, of AI replacing jobs. We'll have to wait and see on that one, but I would say based on the early signs here, things are not good. But moving on from arguably negative stuff. Hey, Mrs. Sujano's right back there. But moving on from arguably negative stuff, and next up we're talking about good stuff. If you're on mobile, Epic Games is now giving away free games on mobile, and the first two are pretty good. Here's a fluff for you. If you can see, there are quite a bit of fluffs here. I'm going to put my hand up and there's one for you. How's that for some fluffs? Pretty sure you guys are okay with this little bit of a fluff break. Now, pretty good is probably extremely arguable here and debatable, but at the same time, the two games are Bridge Constructor Walking Dead, as well as Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms for Dungeons & Dragons. Now, whether you love Epic or hate Epic, I think this is a great thing for mobile gamers if you're looking for some free games. I mean, on PC, I've got a huge collection of free games and I haven't spent a dime on the Epic Game Store. Mobile, I'm hoping here it's going to be the exact same story. Next up, we're talking about Dark Souls Remastered, and there's a brand new mod for Dark Souls Remastered that's getting quite a bit of attention, and that's co-op. There's a trailer for this one up on YouTube. It's called Dark Souls Remastered Seamless Co-op. They say a mod which removes all multiplayer boundaries and allows for connections to persist after death. Play with friends from the tutorial to the very end of the game, with synchronized progress and no resummoning or interruptions. Now on top of that, you can also adjust the multiplayer scaling of the enemies to your liking. This mod is up on Nexus Mods. Next up, this is more of just a friendly heads up. We're talking about Nintendo and Switch 2 pre-orders. And if you are interested in pre-ordering a Switch 2 and you're in Canada or the US, It does seem, so I'm a little bit out of breath over this walk. It does seem that pre-orders will be opening up on May 8th, according to Nintendo's website. I don't know if that's going to be other stores as well or just directly from Nintendo. Now, unfortunately, I haven't seen any information regarding pricing, and I think that's the big question a lot of people are wondering about. I'm assuming when May 8th rolls around, we'll have a better idea of what these are going to be priced at with the tariffs. Next up, we're switching from Nintendo to PlayStation, and this is more of just a friendly heads up. PS Plus prices might be increasing. It's being reported that in certain areas, prices are increasing between 8 and 21%. So it's being reported that the price increase is applying to certain countries in South America, as well as other countries like Hong Kong, China, and Taiwan. And I'm on a different path now, but I guess there's more birds here if you wanted to see. Had a lot of fluff breaks in this video. Price increase is going into effect as of April 16th. The rationale behind the price increase is global market conditions. I've got no idea if price increases are going to be happening across the board here, but I guess in today's day and age, price increases just seem to be a very normal thing. How about a close-up shot of some fluffs for you guys? Next up, we're talking about the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time PC port, also known as the Ship of Harkinian. And the Ship of Harkinian got yet another update. The last one was a big update with some huge changes to the randomizer. And this update is more of a bug fix update, but there's been a whole bunch of bug fixes to the randomizer amongst others. Now, I don't know about you, but I think the Ship of Harkinian is a super cool project. Even to ship to Harkinian with Majora's Mask. Moving on, and this is more of just a friendly heads up. As you know, I'm a huge supporter of indie games, and Steam is having a pretty big indie publisher sale right now. It's called the Indie.io Publisher Sale, and their sale's up to 90% off, and the sales are between April 11th to April 25th. Who knows, maybe you'll pick out a new favorite. And last up, we're talking about Sega Saturn emulation on Android with Yaba Sanshiro 2 Pro. And this is not a free emulator, nor is it open source. However, it just got a pretty big update. So they say here they've updated the game selection screen with improved usability. They say the previous game selection screen was outdated, clunky, and full of bugs, so they gave it a complete overhaul. On top of that, they've separated game ratings from emulation quality versus game quality. They say you can see these ratings by hitting the details for each game, and I think that makes a lot of sense, separating the two out. You could have an absolutely fantastic game that runs like crap. I would say Sega Saturn emulation in general is coming along, but it's far from perfect. And I'm glad to be able to see the difference between the two. Let me know your thoughts about that though. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. Actually, no, there were a lot of fluffs. Not the legendary one fluff, but there were quite a few fluffs in this video. We talked about a bunch today. Feel free to discuss anything we talked about in the comments below. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos, and don't tempt fate, save your state.